Everyone. Welcome to This Just In.
And It's Grim, a bi weekly series where two friends of 3 decades chat about dark subjects.
Before we begin, you should be warned that our series contains language, themes, and material not suitable for children or sensitive Sallies.
So hide your babies and your boomers, and let's dig in.
Let me scroll up. All right, guys. Welcome back. We are
Welcome back.
here with a pop-up surprise episode.
Woo woo.
And yeah, this is in celebration of a Women's Month, Women's History Month. Is it
Yes,
Women's
yes.
History Month or Women's? I know it was International Women's Day not too long ago,
Women's
where
History
my
Month.
bitch ass cooked plate the whole day. And I
Yeah.
started my fucking period on Women's International History Month. So
Well, what
fuck
better way
me.
to celebrate?
Fuck me. Yeah.
That
So,
happened to me
anyways,
today. So woo
we are still aligned, my friend.
After all these years, you can't break some systems down. Okay. So, yeah, welcome back. So, we're doing a couple bonus episodes for you guys this month for Women's Month for the ladies. Oh, the single
Yeah.
ladies. Well, and all the not single ladies too. Just, yeah, whatever. Jazz hands it out. Yeah, so we're starting out. We picked 3 separate subjects all around really badass women. These are not going to be super downers. These women did really awesome shit. So we're starting it out with a group of ladies, and we know them as the Night Witches. Amy, you want to jump in?
Absolutely. Okay. Imagine you are a Nazi soldier stationed on the eastern. It is the dead of night. There is no moon, and suddenly you hear it. A strange, rhythmic whooshing sound cutting through the darkness above you. Your heart goes cold. You know what that sound means. The night witches. The fear was so real, so pervasive that any German airman who managed to shoot one of their planes down was immediately awarded the Iron Cross, which is one of the highest military honors in the Nazi war machine. These weren't elite male fighter aces. These were Soviet women, most of them teenagers and young women in their early 20s, flying in outdated biplanes that were originally designed for crop dusting, and they terrified the Third Reich. The Night Witches were the all-female aviators of the Soviet 588th Night Bomber Regiment, later redesignated as the 46th Guards Night Bomber Aviation Regiment. The unit was formed on October 8, 1941, under Order Number 0099, issued by Soviet Premier Joseph Stalin, who was responding in part to the passionate lobbying of Major Marina Reskova, often called the Soviet Amelia Earhart. Skova was legendary in the Soviet Union. She had been the first female navigator in the Soviet Air Force, multiple long-distance flight records, and had direct personal access to Stalin. When Germany invaded the Soviet Union in June of 1941, Rskova began receiving floods of letters from women across the country, demanding the right to fight in the air. She brought those letters, in that case, straight to the top. 3 women air regiments were formed. So the 586th Fighters, the 587th Dive Bombers, and the 588th Night Bombers. The 588th would become the most celebrated of the 3, and the only regiment to remain entirely all female by war's end, including its pilots, navigators, ground crews, and support staff. That distinction was a badge of enormous pride. Now let's talk about where the name came from because it's equal parts terrifying and poetic. The regiment flew Polikarpov PO-2 biplanes. So these were 1928 designs wood and canvas construction planes. Originally built as training aircraft and crop dusters, they were so antiquated that German radar could not pick them up. They were too small for infrared locators to detect, and the crews flew with no radios, so radio locators could not find them either. As one writer described them, they were basically ghosts. But what truly unnerved the Germans was the sound. As a Night Witch pilot approached her target, she would cut the engines entirely. The plane would glide silently through the darkness towards its objective, carrying its payload of bombs. The only thing a German soldier on the ground would hear was the soft, eerie whooshing sound of the wind cutting through the wooden struts and canvas of the biplane, a sound they described as resembling the sweeping of a witch's broom. The Germans called the night witches what they said is Die Nachten, and that's translated to night witches. It was intended as a slur, but the women embraced it as a battle. Now Rox is going to give us some more info, a little bit more in depth about these bad bitches.
Thanks, Amy. Such badasses, for real. So, Major Marina Raskova was a highly decorated aviator when World War II started. She has spent her early life studying to become an opera singer for dramas, much like her family, who were all well known singers in Russia. Of course, fighter pilot was her fallback. And when she got an ear infection that effectively ended her stage career, she married and had a daughter, and in 1931 joined the Navigation Laboratory of the Air Force Academy as a draftswoman at 18 years old. In 1933, she became the first woman navigator in the Soviet Air Force. A year later, she began teaching at the Zhukovsky Air Academy. She went through additional training to become an instrument flying instructor and was then able to teach advanced navigation to personnel and commanding officers. Between 1937 and 1938, she made many straight-line distance flights, setting unprecedented records. One example, during a 26-and-a-half-hour flight, the plane went down and she ejected. She had no water and limited food. It took her 10 days to find her plane. And when she showed up, the rescue crew had been there for 8 days, assuming her death. For this feat and the record, she and the other 2 females on board were awarded the Hero of the Soviet Union Award, the first and only women to receive it pre-World War II. And on that note, enter Yevdokia Bershanskaya. All right. The woman that would eventually lead the witches into the night. Yevdokia, like Marina, had begun her aviation career early, rose quickly, and by 1932, she was training other pilots. By the time Nazis invaded Russia, Yevdokia had 10 years of pilot experience. So when Marina convinced Stalin to allow women to fight, Yevdokia was the obvious choice to command the 588th Night Bomber Regiment, or Night Witches. And command she did. Amy, want to tell us what happens when highly trained female rage meets fascism?
Oh, yeah. So these planes could carry only 2 bombs at a time, one under each wing, limiting them to roughly 350 kilograms of explosives per run. This meant the crews had to fly anywhere from 8 to 18 runs per single night, returning to base after each time to reload and go back out. Each time lasted between 30 and 50 minutes. Peak operations of 42 people flew simultaneously. The Germans would hear them coming and light up searchlights to try to track them. The Night Witches had a counter strategy for that too. One plane would fly in to attract the searchlights and draw fire, while a second plane cut its engine and glided in to bomb the searchlight positions themselves. It was dangerous, creative, brutally effective, and they did this without parachutes for much of the war. Parachutes were only issued in 1944. They also initially flew without guns. In the event of being shot down, their only survival option was to crash land. Some pilots described their planes as a coffin with wings. From their first mission on June 28th of 1942 through May 4th of 1945, when they flew their final run within 60 kilometers of Berlin, the Night Witches flew approximately 24,000 combat missions over roughly 1,100 nights. They dropped over 3,000 tons of explosives and 26,000 incendiary shells on Nazi targets. Fuck those Nazis. So now Russ is going to go over the aftermath.
So, with an event like World War II, it is nearly impossible to give credit to every person that contributed to its end. And even during this episode, we didn't cover the lives of each of the women who served the 588th. We really just mentioned a couple. So, lest we forget, there were 261 women who served with the 588th in aviation and ground support. 32 of these women, including Major Marina Raskova, died in battle. Every one of these women had a university-level education, as that is where they were recruited. Many of them left behind children, lovers, homes, families, and a full and bright future. 23 personnel from the regiment were awarded the title Hero of the Soviet Union. Riza Aronova, Vera Belek, Marina Chekhneva, Rufina Gasheva, Polina Gelman, Tatiana Makarova, Natalia Meklin, Yevdokia Nikolina, Yevdokia Nosal, Olga Sanferova, Zoya Parfenova, Yevdokia Pasko, Nadezhda Popova, Nina Raspopova, Yevgenia Rudneva, Yekaterina Ryabova, Irina Sebrova, Maria Smirnova, Maguba Sirtlanova, Nina Ulinenko, Yevgenia Zigulenko. 2 received Heroes of the Russian Federation Awards, Alexandra Akimova and Tatiana Sumarokova, and the Hero of Kazakhstan was awarded to Kuz Dospanova. The legacy of the Night Witches may not be taught in our schools, but they contributed greatly, and tonight we hope we honored them by sharing what we learned. That's all I got. Short and sweet, guys. But I will say, when I was thinking about these ladies, and I was like, the drive that they had to have had to want to end this war, to fight alongside. They had families at home, and it's not like the military made it super easy for them to join up. Like, there was no law prohibiting women from joining the military in Russia at the time, but there was still a lot of red tape for them, and I know that. And I mean, that's why they got the crap planes. They're like, well, if you guys want to go up, you're taking our junk because we're not going to let you have the good shit. And look what they did with it, you know? So it really shows you when a woman, especially a group of women, get together, the shit they can make happen. It really is. And I did want to mention that we have actually picked all 3 of these subjects out of a book. And that book is called Rejected Princesses by Jason Porath. And we just thought we would let you guys know. So if you want to dive more into this story or stories like that, go to rejectedprincesses.com for more information. Like, they aren't a sponsor of ours or anything, but we just really like what they do in their storytelling. And they've got a ton more than just what we're going to go over for these little pop-ups. So if you want more information or dive in any more, you should check them out for sure.